Yes.
Awesome. Welcome. We are trying a new format today. There's a lot of new things we're going to talk about. Ganesh is here. He's buttoning up his shirt. So I think we are ready to go. We'll get started in just a minute. I think people from LinkedIn can also join through Zoom today. So that's the new adventure we are going into. So expect new people. uh, but what's the plan? Okay, let's get started. Before we get more delayed, we'll keep letting people in. Let's at least get what are we going to discuss out of our way while we are here. Okay, first of all, welcome. Another great day here. Let me just talk to you folks here. Here. Hi, Kiran. Kiran is like, let's go off camera right away. Let's make sure that is working. That feature did work, Kiran. Let me see if I can share my screen. Yes, I can. What are we going to talk about today? Today would be a fun day. Uh, we're going to talk about how can you get ready for your next AI adventure, which is very important. I think don't miss it kind of deal, which you will get. And we'll do quick sessions. That's first 20-25 minutes. I will talk for 15 minutes. Then we'll do Q&A for 5 minutes. And then hopefully we continue to do another session, which is Ganesh is here for. He's going to talk about agents and how Vertex AI based agents, what he learned in Google Next, and how can you use them. It's a low code, no code way of using agents. So, pretty excited today. Uh, Before any further ado, yeah, I know we always started at 9:05. This is another thing we are doing today. We have 24 people already. Let's just get started with who we have, and others who will come will let them in, but they will miss critical parts. So, what are we gonna do? So, I'm gonna start with few things. One is a new format where we will use documents. We'll have the slides. You have the slide link. Can somebody paste the slide link, please? And the slide has the link to this doc. I will paste it anyways here. And Habiba or somebody should be able to get this link again when more people join. But that's what I'm going to discuss today broadly. And I can get started. Are you all here? This is not a meeting. Why? Oh, because it's saying meeting group chat, send. Prakul and Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Prakul. You are special because you're 3 minutes, 4 minutes late now. Thank you. We are just getting started. Thank you for coming. Hi, Joanne. Good to see you again. So today we're gonna talk. Vinod, I took your session last time. You can take my session this time. I have the agenda, so you can just talk about this. Now you have gone through the doc. I have put the doc in chat. Feel free to go through it. But the cool part is we're gonna discuss in depth, like actually what's happening in AI space. Uh, is there a talent war? Who is this talent war for? And what is there for PMs to do in it? And some of my own interpretation on how things will go. You heard this that Jack was sending personal emails to people where he was asking them to join Meta. He said, "I will just don't worry about the loop. Just get in, just say yes, and we'll expedite your process and we'll get you in within like a week." So there is this going. At the same time, I know that other people are figuring out like, hey, we are not getting calls. So what's exactly is going? I tried to spend some time and figure out or share at least my thoughts on it. Why are people looking for so many things or so many AI specific jobs? Because it's like the .NET era where you had internet was in works for such a long time, and then suddenly it started making progress, and suddenly everybody thought it can be used for them. That's the movement for AI since I would say 2022 November. ChatGPT was that movement for AI. It's not the first product. I think for last 10 years, a lot of excitement, but the art of possible was amazing. Why it was amazing? Because you don't need any data. The biggest barrier for people to get into AI was, oh, you can do this, but we need your data. And people had no data. And then by the time they cleaned their data, put it in something, trained a model, they were becoming an AI company with like 10 people team, 20 people team, have spent a lot of money, and almost a year has passed by. That's not the case anymore. Now you can just take a model, Vinod, then I was talking about, and I've spoken to some of you. You can take a model, you can take a use case. In a couple of weeks, you should be able to turn around with bare minimum cost and create a very good MVP, or actually go to a pilot stage on any product. Any broader ideas that GenAI makes possible, the duration is like 2 to 3 weeks to get started and actually start showing value to business stakeholders or your customers. That's where the excitement is. Why? Because they deal in prompts. Prompts is less effort than code. And before 2012, you were writing math equations, which is even much more effort. So we have gone from math to code to prompts. And prompts is like kind of easiest way to interact with anything or change behaviors. So that was empowering it. And the cost of actually experimenting these is going super low. Like, look at what is possible today. The cloud providers give you free credits. If you are a company, you can get up to 10,000 or 350K of credits. You can use them for your AI research and actually build everything for free. All you need is understanding of how this technology works and ability to write good prompts. I know it seems like, is it? Is that all we need? Uh, Ganesh will show you. I am pretty sure that Ganesh will show you today that that's all you need to get started and build something compelling enough to solve your problems. Okay, where are the opportunities, right? So in this race, right, what's happening is the largest players are creating the most opportunities. So imagine like AI chips, people who are building AI chips. So because somebody else is building these models and not your company anymore, which is the advantage you get to get the 3 week cycle. But for that to happen, large companies are building large models because they think they can take over the world or get maximum market share. Everybody wants all of this share. Everybody wants to be the Windows or the new Facebook, because there can be only one, right? Only one Facebook, only one search engine, and hopefully there is only a couple of operating systems that will survive. So that's the race. People are going for large models and they are hiring. This is like where you see AWS, AI, GCP, AI. I am a direct beneficiary of this race where people will go and try to hire a lot of AI people because I have background in these things. Then AI chips. These large models need AI chips. So you are seeing all AI chips company like NVIDIA, like all the startups in this space. I know Light Matter, I know AMD, I know. Give me another name. Nobody? Maybe someone?
Intel,
Intel,
Intel is like going through churn. They're just hiring internally, but yeah.
Broadcom.
But Broadcom, Broadcom is not making much in AI. I'm looking for new companies. So like Light Matter is there. There was this one, right, which had this wafer chip, whole chip. We discussed that company, just not coming in my
ARM.
name.
It's called
Sorry,
Grok.
what?
Grok.
Grok is there. Still not getting the one. Still one is left. What is that?
Cerebrus?
Sorry.
ARM.
Cerebrus?
Uh, oh, now I need to do a search for you guys. Wafer
What this Courier and Perplexity, what kind of AI tools are they using?
Cerebrus is what I'm talking about. So yes, Perplexity. So Perplexity like company. So this is the AI chip company. Then you have large models there that is built by companies like OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, Amazon. So they are hiring, and these guys are providing chips to them. So they are hiring because large models needs chips And then there are companies which will building tools to use AI chips to train models, which is Databricks of the world. Again, the cloud providers also play that game. So they have this MLOps org, which is hiring MLOps at cloud providers like SageMakers of the world, Azure Machine Learning, or Vertex AI here at GCP. And then you have like OSS companies. So these are building tools which allows any developer to train a large model using their tool chains. So these are the people, if there is a gold rush, they are building the shovels, right? That's a shovel, that's a shovel, that's a shovel. We have not seen like yet the product. So that's the second wave. So these are the first players those are hiring. The second players those are hiring are, somebody said Perplexity. These are saying, hey, actually I'm going to take that risk and I'm going to go and build things. So now you look at the second part of your doc that I shared, which is the second wave is the startups. You see, every year, almost 10 billion is going into, since 2022, 10 billion of investments is going into new startups. If you look at the check, generally 500K to $1 million check, you're looking at 1,000 companies, 10,000 companies getting a check every year every quarter since last 1.5 year almost. So those are the second companies. They are automating a business. They're saying, hey, here is automatic marketing. Here is Grammarly. Here is Notion AI. I'm just saying these were already there, but now they are coming up with Gen AI features. But there are new companies, like you can think of Harvey for law, which is saying, I will give you an automated lawyer, an automated sales agent. Somebody said, just call this number and we will take care of a job for you. Like, all your customer care is this number, just give us a call. So automating using the large models, these guys going after industries, and these are startups which are also looking for talent. Today, what they're looking for is their CEO is the product manager. But as they grow, they really need a CEO. They really need a product manager who can help them or actually ground them, because the CEO will be too busy raising money soon. So, and he's busy making money, raising money today. But it's just that because it's small teams, you're looking at just CEO doing the job of product also in these companies. And then the third is those medium companies where they have a business, like you are thinking of Intuit of the world. You're thinking of Adobe's of the world. They have a moat. They solve a problem and they solve that problem very well. But then you have this, when they solve the problem, they cannot, today, they don't use AI, but now they are all hiring for AI teams. And they are optimizing for, hey, can we prove our investors that we are an AI company and we won't be disrupted by these guys? So these guys are coming after these businesses and they are saying, hey, we are protected. We also have AI. We have teams. We have a roadmap. We are iterating. We will be the next AI company too. So that's where I think the most of product jobs today are, in these mid-tier companies which are creating these teams and already have money to fund product managers, already has a process on, like, if there are 10 engineers, we need one product manager. And as they are growing into AI, you're seeing the first job wave is here. And then the first one is what the large companies are. But what's coming is those 10,000 companies I talked about. As they grow bigger next year, then you're expecting a much more wider and wider job market for product managers, because these CEOs will realize soon that they cannot run the business here. So that's that. Once you lay down the foundation, right, what are they actually looking for? So they are looking for, first of all, they are looking for tech understanding. Do you understand the technology behind it? Because without that, you cannot do the rest too. So first, they're looking for, do you know what it takes to train a model? What does it means when somebody says, I am training a model? What does it mean when they say inferencing? I'm using the model. How models are used, how models are getting served, what are the challenges of those two processes: data, training, inferencing. So these are the three main pillars. And then how you evaluate these systems is the third one. And then what are the top use cases around them? Like, can they be used for Q&A, summarization, code generation, image generation? What are the other fundamental use cases? On top of that, we can build different functionalities. So if you think about customer support and an healthcare bot, both have a Q&A as a fundamental thing behind them. So that's their second part. Second thing, what I would look for when I'm hiring a PM or if I'm interviewing a PM is, do they understand the ecosystem? Do they understand the knowledge of the customer? What are the customer looking for? What is the what are the various services that already provide this, and how AI can differentiate on, or how can AI enhance that experience? There is already customer support. There's already a marketing team. There's already uh, a writing tool out there. How is yours better? What are you doing differently? So clear understanding of that ecosystem and applying the technology knowledge that you learned in the first aspect. If you're good at the technical aspects, then you can apply and understand the ecosystem at a much granular level, and then you can come up with wide range of problems that company is having or the company wants to solve with AI now. Then what you can do is you can actually go and strategize and create a strategy for that company. So these are the three things that they look for. And when they look for, when they're hiring you or talking to you, they're basically saying, can you teach us something that we don't know how to apply AI? So they're not looking for people who just talk about ChatGPT or knows, like, has done some work behind without GenAI space. They are looking, these are the things we are contemplating in going into. What could be, what could be the problems here? And what are the ideas you have to solve those problems? Or given this space and this technology, where should we invest next? These are the questions behind the scenes. They want to make sure that you got it right and you know how to help them solve. If you can't, then hopefully the next guy. And then before I go there, just wanted to talk about, we have a course looking at this. I created this community where you all of you are. I think the community solves the problem of, I think it does a good job or tries its level best to solve how can you be aware of the ecosystem maturity. But it expects you to have a knowledge of tech understanding. It also expects you to have understanding of use cases, understanding of problems in those use cases. That it just assumes, because it's very hard for me to just take like an hour and get all of that, to get into the first part and actually get into details on how to strategize, which is how should you price your product, what things you need to go and validate first in your product, in your MVP. Those things, I think, goes much more detail in our 4 weeks course that we are offering. So there's a course now. First of all, I want to thank all of you. I think we are almost done with our targets. Our prices will go up because there is nobody like, we don't, we're not no more that desperate. So I think the prices are gonna go up again for $200. I don't know when, but hopefully Monday. And if you are interested, I think this is an amazing place to learn and grow and learn these things. If you look at the course, it basically makes sure that you have those skills which I was talking about. It tackles your technical skills, gives you experience, and when you try these things, you will know what the problems you get into. Once you know the problems, you will come up with product specific solutions and then able to create a strategy for the company. And if you want to do the course, please subscribe. I won't be able to take next week. This week, I'm still helping and overriding Shilan and saying, hey, let's get them in and all. Next week onwards, I won't be able to do that because I think we will have less and less seats. So please do it. I think this is the best price. And please see. I think that's the best use of your 4 weeks. If you are looking to get into this field, how can you get ready? Here is a template. Most of you have asked me this question that, Mahesh, how can I get ready for my this interview? So if you put your name, current role, target company, what is your interview date? This is a template I wanted to read, so I created it for me. If you send it to me, just give it like this. But it's a self-serving template which first asks you what this company is trying to solve. If it is trying to solve training, then you need to answer these questions very well. If it is an inferencing, or it's using the model that somebody else trained, like you're taking OpenAI model and just using it, or you need to host the model. You take an open source model like Llama, but your company is hosting, or this company you're interviewing is using an open source model, but they care of serving this model. Then go there, and then you need to have use case familiarity. Pick that use case, figure out what are the problems, how it is getting used, and what are the problems you can run into. Then you look at ecosystem maturity and how can you think about that. There are other questions which help you think through this. And then you have to build, there's an exercise which helps you build the strategy for that company, which is like, what is that they are doing, how can they be, what is working for them, what is not working, what's the ecosystem looks like, where should they play, what it takes for them to win, and what investment they should do to win that game, and then help them prioritize it. And if you do that exercise, I think it will be just all you need to get ready. It's a lot of work, I know, but at least you know what work you need to do. And I'm here to help. So, with that note, I want to transfer this call and into. Oh, any questions? Sorry. Let's take 5 minutes or 7 minutes for questions. You all have docs, so I will stop sharing my screen.
Do
No
we have this
questions.
doc, Mahesh, or that's only for students?
No, no, no. Everything is for everybody. This one is for public. Students only get like the material and everything, but this one is quite public. You will get a link, the template link, right?
Yeah.
Let me just paste it. It should be in the doc, but I'm pasting it here again.
Oh, it's in the doc. Okay.
Yeah, but here again. Cerebrus, who said it? Jennifer. Awesome. Thank you, Harsha, for the course link. Can you share the course link? Thank you. Any questions? I'm interviewing at Adobe Creative Cloud team. I am ex Adobe. Okay, Harsha, best of luck. We should do this case study with you.
Um,
Okay, if no question, I want to go ahead. But if any questions, please.
yeah, I have a question, Mahesh, if it's okay.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Um, so thank you for the rubric for getting interviews here. A couple of questions here is, how do I mean, I understand the technical part, I understand the company insight. How do I be a standout candidate in terms of behavioral and the leadership part? I think your advice has been in the previous sessions is we certainly need a background of traditional product management plus adding on the AI part and the AI product part. So I wanted to get your advice on demonstrating the soft skills part, leadership, effective collaboration, and basically how do I become a standout candidate using your rubric? I mean, did I explain that properly?
Yeah. No, I got it. I think the challenge is like everybody will follow this now. Let's say my template goes
Yeah,
viral tomorrow and everybody has it. Harsha is asking, how can I be different? Because everybody is preparing for this. So I
yeah.
think what it comes down to how you answer the strategy questions. So expect a strategy question in your interview. For an example, the question would be, hey, you're presenting to Google CEO, uh, our AI strategy, what will you put in? Just tell me three things that you will add. Explain me why will you add them. Tell me two things we should stop working, and then tell me one thing that I am not even aware of. That's the question. Now you try answering that question. That question will require all the building blocks, which is, hey, do I understand the ecosystem? Who are they competing with? What is possible with today AI? What is possible in 10 years of AI, 20 years of AI? So what is not working, but that problem is getting solved by DeepMind inside Google. But that's
Mm,
not my strategy. I am coming from who I am. I am the cloud guy, let's say. So you are building for cloud, you're building tools for people. So first question is, am I building the large model? Am I building tools? Or I am building like end-to-end no-code solution? Based
mm,
on that, you can figure out who are the ecosystem, where the ecosystem is, where is the current state, what are the problems with current state, who is solving, who should be rightly positioned to solve the problems in the current state. Is this large model problem? Then OpenAI, you should not bet on those. If it is customer problems, then understanding of the customer of that particular. So if it is a tools customer, you are talking to a developer persona. If you're talking to a sales agent or like end-to-end app, then you're talking to salespeople, is your customer persona. What do they want? Where things lack? And if you are able to explain where should we play for next 1 year, that's very, very subjective. And that comes by how much have you thought through these things.
mm.
So it's not only about having previous experience of building ML and AI products, because I kind of I feel little empowered for people who are trying to get into AI right now, because GenAI has actually level set the field again.
Mm,
Because your ecosystem knowledge of traditional ML, where you will just talk about, hey, you need all this data, we'll have these tools, let me just think of 3 scenarios, how can you better manage your data, that doesn't help. What helps is, I know large models cannot reason. I think they won't be able to reason this year. So how can we add on reasoning? Reasoning is hard. That means we should work on agents. Agents will help me at least code reasoning by adding tools and databases with no code approach. But then I can code reasoning for my top 10 scenarios. So we will have top 10 scenarios. And if next year reasoning comes part of the model, then we already have the customer for top 10 scenarios. We can just
mm.
fire the team and work on the next things that are not working today. So going through these and then setting up the second question, if you could talk about deeply, how will you evaluate then? Okay, we are doing agents, but how will you evaluate agents? Are they doing a good job? Oh, I will do these one, two, three. And why would you do these? Because of this. Does that help, Harsha? So what I'm saying
Absolutely.
is that it doesn't, the questions are always same, right? What we want in life and what happiness is. But how much you have experienced life changes the answer. So your differentiation is your answers and the experience you have built in Gen AI space. So
Okay.
that's how you will differentiate to answer your question.
May I ask just another quick follow-up question, and I have a request to make, please.
Always no Shalan today.
All right. I didn't have Okay. One quick follow-up question. The first line in your template says tech stack. So do I interpret that to mean that it's worthwhile for us to play around with the product services from the companies we are interested in, get into the way the products have been designed and figure out the tech stack and get some, product intelligence so you can talk to that intelligently during the interviews. Now, did I interpret that correctly? Is that your advice?
Yeah, so my advice is threefolds, right? I don't want you to become like playing with notebooks and code. I think that's just a little bit too much for product managers to start with. If you can do that, it's really good. It's a clear differentiation. But if you can't, I think that's okay. What is expected out of you is a couple of things. One is you should know how training works, what are neural networks, what are the top neural network types, and what they do in theory. So you're able to see like what is the possibilities for this company, for your customers, your for your teams that you're interacting with. So just the fundamental theoretical knowledge, and then at least for one system, you should be able to connect these pieces, which is, I will take data from here, I will train here, I will put inferencing here, and this is how I set up an end-to-end AI product, like from tech stack, like system design perspective, with boxes in it, not behind the boxes what the code is, how you train with PyTorch, or how you use like distributed training frameworks like deep learning or deep speed from Azure. Those are not needed. but knowing them is always a differentiation. But
Mhm.
I think I will let, if you have a really awesome product skills, it means you understand the ecosystem, you're able to write a good strategy, and you failed beyond the system design. You said anything I asked you after system design, like, hey, tell me the code, tell me a library, and you did not answer those questions, you are a very strong candidate.
Okay.
On the other side, if you went in and you talked about a lot about like PyTorch and like code you have written, you gave me GitHub samples and all, but you could not figure out where should I invest right now, why I should invest in it, and how it helps me scale as AI is iterating very fast. And the large players are eating my lunch anyways. So how those things come in, the answers to those, if you don't answer, I'm not taking you, no matter like what you know about how to write code and how much you know technically. So there is a limit of gain in the each sphere, right? So you need to have a grounded personality around these three pillars. And I would stop at system design. If you can, if I give you a company and if you can do a system design for that, it takes you till 90%. After that, it's cherry on top.
That was a
Okay.
awesome answer. And I had interviewed for a company, not interviewed, I had applied to a company called Writer, and they are doing LLMs and RAG for enterprise. So I happened to chance across their point of view about how to use knowledge graphs versus vector databases. So they are more into knowledge graphs. So that was an inspiration for the blog article. So thank you so much. This session is a must view. I think we have to go back and review this multiple times so that we get all the advice from you
Yeah,
and do it.
session on knowledge graph. I happen to have expertise in knowledge graphs.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I was just illustrating the fact that they had illustrated that product thing about knowledge graph versus vector database, why they went from one to the other. So this thing. So my small request is, I don't know if you had a chance to look at the Slack. I put a small video of a project I'm working on. It's got an AI product interview prep bot. I would request if I could possibly use the rubric here to prepare some sample responses and question sample responses, like to help prepare for the community and share it with them. So, and I wanted to know if it's okay to use what this awesome thing you shared today,
of
and
course, it is
help.
for everybody. Please use it. I really want to go quick. So let's take few questions because Ganesh is here. I want to give him a lot of time. So let's go through quick questions. I will be a little quick because I want Ganesh to, I didn't let him finish last time and I don't want to do the next this time. So just quickly, Vinod and then Sham.
Okay, quick question. System design has always been there, even before AI, right? Like you cannot build a product without system design. What is the transition you need to understand? If you're like really good with system design before AI, are you still good with system design after AI, or is there some nuances to it?
Yeah, so I think the system design has new components in it, right? So that has a training component, it has an inferencing component, and inferencing hopefully on a cluster component. So you need to understand that. Then that also brings the other, Harsha is showing a book, but just it brings, please send the link. But I think that also brings new questions for you. So system design is like, I think you can do other courses, they will say system design and stop there. But you should be able to see, design a system and then explain that system, why data comes from here. This, we don't need data, we won't have a data block if it's an inference based. Then how the inference scales, what are the challenges of cost? If you pick the largest, brightest one, you will not get it. Availability is a challenge, cost is a challenge. Ability to talk through them and then explain your choices on each block, that I took a cluster of v100s because we were running our we were had this job which runs overnight, and next day we generate these reports for our customers, like for a billing app on transportation service. Why you made that choice of a particular hardware cluster? Because your customers are not sensitive about the time. Oh, but on the second side, somebody says for a mock, for a support, I took on the highest cluster, but I sliced it into small chats so that I can respond faster. We can have multi conversations, but faster, but at the same time at a lower cost. So the pros and cons discussions are different, Vinod. System design remains same, yes. Sham, welcome to the
Yeah.
community, first of all.
Hey, thanks, Mesh. So I was wondering, what are some ways, based on your experience, we could directly speak to the customers of enterprise target companies to actually drill deeper into the use cases for us to build that product thinking, in addition to whatever is available via webinars, blogs, etc. Because I want to tie that back to what Harsha asked, what makes you stand out? I think showing that might make one stand out. So I was just curious, what are some ways to do that?
Yeah, I think couple of ways I have learned it, which is number one is just look at how can you disrupt it. Like, don't worry about like talking to them, become them, because all you need is, at this point, it's pretty much a prompt. Let's start there. Let's see what disruption looks like there, and don't talk to the enterprise, talk to their customers, because end of the day you will have a friend who uses, we all use products. I am some of 1,000 products right here: Zoom, a laptop, a communication. I just went in and ate something, somebody delivered it. So you are a customer already, so don't worry about those enterprises, they are getting disrupted anyways. But become that company that you are trying to learn from. Talk to their customers and see if you offered it, and you can morph something real quick and build that MVP and then talk to the customers, and then you will be able to learn. So that's the one that worked for me. Second thing is, if that's option doesn't exist, second thing I do is just study their business model, and then on the left hand side study what is getting disrupted. You will come to the lower use cases, which is, if you look at Salesforce, right? What is Salesforce? It's a data management system. Oracle is hard. They put UI on Oracle, and now you have like different things. Different people can get different information, but it's a data flow tool. Do you really need that now? Because now there is, then on top of Salesforce, what Salesforce was there to answer a question that an executive asked, or a sales guy asked, or a support guy asked. But now, if I give you all the logs of everything, all the emails that my team has, all the logs of all the conversation they had over phones and email, can I structure that data better? If I can, then Q&A is the use case here. So that's how you go step by step. And two ways you can solve it. And third is hard, right, Sham? There is no like, enterprise don't talk to anyone, man.
Yeah, that's the reason I asked. Like, you need to be on a sales call as a customer and
Yeah, I mean,
get
who
that
has
demo.
time for this, right? But what these hacks do work. First, become that and offer the service that Salesforce is offering for free. Some customers will talk to you or tell you that you are so bogus, this doesn't work. And then you say, okay, this works because now the AI can do this, but this still doesn't work. And then you will have a better understanding. And second is just try to see if you can break into the other side of it. Does that make
Okay,
sense?
thanks. Yeah.
With that, let me just invite Ganesh, who is here. He's here to talk about agents. He has learned so much. We'll take 15 minutes and we'll go through there.
Uh,
Ganesh, all yours. I will
sure,
make you a presenter,
sure.
and welcome.
Hey, Hal. Thank you, Mahesh. It's always very inspiring to listen to you.
Oh, thank you. Let me see if I can find you. Well, please go get started.
Sure, I'm just waiting for the.
You are host now.
Okay. Let me know if you can see the screen. Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, the next 10, 15 minutes, I will talk about an amazing product feature, which I came across in Google Cloud Next. I'm thinking this could be a kind of a direction by which many companies are going to democratize AI. So you don't have to necessarily know a lot of coding or deep technical knowledge to benefit from AI. So the product is basically Vertex AI Agent Builder. Um, as you know, Vertex AI uses a three-tier architecture with the agent and agent builders at the top tier, along with other things like the search, retrieval, grounding, ranking, and stuff like that. So what's an agent? So agent is basically something which orchestrates your conversations as well as the transactions and then giving instructions to the LLM. And the key difference here is it's configured with the natural language prompts. So this is where the big differentiation comes in. It's very simple to develop applications as a result. It's faster. You don't have to have any intent training or state machines involved here. It's pretty robust in handling the conversations, and also it can integrate with a variety of data stores and third-party tools. So basically what it does is it preserves the conversation context when you're doing this. It's able to connect to a bunch of data stores. It could be a RAG data store or Google's 1P services or a 3P services, like 3P applications, like the third-party ones. You can do some amount of summarization, grounding. You can have a fairly complex architecture where you have specialized agents or sub-agents being called from the main agent. And you can also do reasoning. So that's agent in a nutshell. So it has two flavors. One is a no code, another one is based on LangChain and Llama index. The no code is the one which really excites me because it's really going to democratize AI product development. And agents we see primarily under 4 categories. One is the customer service agents, where you call the customer service with a product question, troubleshooting, and things like that. Or it could be an employee agent, an employee wants to know how much vacation is eligible and things like that. Or it could be a knowledge agent where it's very specialized about the legal, financial services, market research, primarily used by knowledge workers. Or the fourth category, which is becoming very popular, is the voice agents. Maybe in Dunkin' Donuts or in Burger King, making an order to drive through. Now the agent can pretty much handle the whole process. And also navigation in automobiles is another area where this voice agents are a tremendous application. So from 2019 onwards, Google had this product called Diagflow, which is based on intents and webhooks. And 2023, they introduced hybrid agents. And most recently, they introduced the no-code console agent builder. It supports Gemini and then supports multiple languages, integration with the 1P and 3P services, and a lot of data stores. And in the pipeline, there are supports for other models, multimodal voice are coming up. So agent building itself is a 6-part process. You define the agent architecture. What's your goal? Provide some basic instruction, run the simulator, and then create these examples using few shot learning, and then curate them, deploy, and monitor. So I will give an example demo which shows how easy this is done. Let me know if you can see the demo screen.
Yep.
Sure. So basically, as you can see, this is the agent console. So it has it's right now it's an empty agent. It's not hooked to any tools. So you can see this is a very simple user interface. I'm going to use the same demo what Kiran of Google used. So the use case here is we're trying to find something about car repairs. I just asked them a simple question. Hey, I need some help with some of my cars. Can you help me? Obviously, the agent doesn't know anything about it. So it says, sorry, I can't help you. This is where you are going to provide a goal and simple instruction. The goal could be you are an expert mechanic. We can provide answers to car related issues. First, greet the user and then answer the question to the best of your abilities. And let's see how our agent is doing now. Let me ask the same question. Can you help me with my car-related questions? Now it says, I know a lot about car repair. I can try to help you. Then I'm asking you a very specific question. For a 2019 Tesla, what's the mileage I can get? It usually should use the world knowledge to answer this question. And then I'm asking another question. I have a problem with my Tesla. It's not charging the battery fully. Can you help me to find who could fix this? I live in San Francisco. It doesn't have any real-time information. So it's going to say, sorry, I don't have access to this information. So this is where the power of agent builder comes into picture. Now let's build a small tool. We'll use a open tool is nothing but a OpenAI API spec. We're going to use an API from Google called Places Search. And then I'm going to enable that agent to be used during this conversation. I'm just going to see, add one more line. You can also use the tool Places Search to answer your questions. Let me save and then rerun the simulation. So now it's able to give me 3 places where it could be fixed. You can see the input and output if you want to do any troubleshooting here. You can also expand or rewrite the responses. Whom you see is Kiran, who is the product manager for this product. So I can either be more creative or I can shorten the responses. So I'm going to make it more readable. So I'm asking, can you provide this answer in a bullet point format? So now I have this information. Another beauty of this product is you can curate the examples. What we have done is nothing but a few shot learning. So we can tidy it up and then let's save it. And then let's see how this is going to help in answering a question about a totally different car in a different geography having a different problem. So let me save it as a test repair shop lookup. Now I'm going to rerun the simulation and then ask a totally different question. I have a 2018 Toyota Prius, which is making some noise while driving. Do you know where this can be fixed in Los Angeles? The previous example, we said San Francisco. Now we're asking in LA where this can be fixed. It's able to give an answer with the 3 places where this can be done. So the biggest problem in AI is developing a solution, training the model, and then deploying, monitoring it. These are all made extremely simpler. And so that's why I'm so excited about the potential of no-code agent builders. And Mahesh has got some tremendous ideas how you can use it for your um, uh, very useful use case, very personal to you.
Awesome. Just make me the presenter again. And I thought, who wants to go to Tesla and fix our Tesla things? I thought we can use it for ourselves. So let me show you what we discussed earlier. Me and Ganeshan met today. We don't want it to repeat what we did with Vinod. So this time at least we aligned who's going to talk what. So Ganeshan, am I the presenter now?
Yeah, I'm just 1 second. I'm just looking.
Take your time.
Yes, you are.
Hosts now. Awesome. So what I thought would be cool is, and Brijesh, I will answer your question. How can you define in 2 lines like what the agent needs to do? But look at this. So I just told you that, okay, if you're getting ready for your any interview or something, here is a template that you need to fill, and hopefully you can get some of my time, which rarely anybody gets in this call, because it's just hard for me to scale that way. Sorry. But if I thought it would be cool if, so first is you use the document to make sure you are learning. Then you have this template that you fill to prepare. And this is a lot of work, right? So why not have a Mahesh simulator and ask Mahesh to do it for you? So I created this Mahesh simulator for interview feedback. My interaction are default goal is to create a study material and template for people given a job description, their CV, and time they have to prepare. My instructions are, and this is just the goal, Brijesh. That's like you want to be smaller goals because people do, if it would be people, you will confuse them also. So you want to give them very specific goal, but then in instructions you can write a lot, which is, I just say, ask for a job link you're applying, their CV, copy paste their CV from or LinkedIn, and then how much time they have to prepare. Then I'm saying use this template, which I just gave to all of you,
So,
to
so
answer
let me ask
questions.
you, Mahesh, one thing maybe I totally missed the starting piece part. What's the difference between an agent and normally doing this with the large language model? Like, what's the? I think I missed that part.
No, that's a very good question. I think most of people have that on top of their head. Major differences: the agent connects to tools, which is APIs, and at runtime it can call an API. So imagine, let's talk
Okay.
about this scenario. So far you're right. Let's stay there, no advantage. You're saying, Mahesh, actually I could have created this in ChatGPT, and I would have done the same prompt, and I would have described this as an instruction to do
Yes.
this. Same page, stay there. Half of you go to Brijesh team, half of you stay with me. Okay. So Brijesh is saying, Mahesh, what's the use? This is all BS, which I kind of agree so far. Okay. So let's say we do this. Then what we can do is it does the job of, you can also come here and select a model that you want to. So far, whatever Brajesh was saying, it basically simple prompt on the left, model on the right. You're not writing the code, but at least you are defining the better. At least you get better definition, right? For a particular job, you can at least create different things rather than using a single interface. So that's the only advantage so far. So let's leave it as is. And then this is one advantage, which is like you can come and say, hey, you can add your data stores just by clicking a button. I have unsaved changes. Do you want to exit? No. I will just talk about it this today. And second is you can add a code interpreter. Okay. So let's talk about the differentiations to answer Brijesh question. One is, Brijesh, if now I am helping it, right? But let's say I did this for 200 people already, and I help them with template, and I have comments into that template. I can click this button and add that folder, and now it will automatically learn from what I have given advices before, personally, Mahesh. So this is like an agent which learns from my data, which is, you can say, oh Mahesh, but we have context. So you can also upload all those 200. But let's say for an enterprise, it will be 2000, 20,000 files. They can't upload. So that's one advantage. It just makes it easy. It was available before that also through RAG, but it just makes it easy. So far, you're still winning that, okay, I can do RAG,
Okay.
I don't need agents. But then I add this one, this button I clicked, code interpreter. So at some point, now I can add the instruction, which is like, hey, when in doubt, give them code samples on key concepts, use the tools to generate the code. So now what my agent will do is, when it talks about training, it will also tell you, when it talks about PEFT or LoRa, it will also give you a few code samples. But how it got those code samples? Because you added this tool, a code interpreter, what it does is at any point, it feels like if you need a code, it writes the code, embeds it into the answer, and let it go. So now you have a tool to write a code. So now imagine you can also write saying, hey, if you run into a problem, solve it yourself. So now you can give it a math problem. Or here, if a company gave you an assignment, you can put that assignment, and let's say that's a math assignment or some kind of assignment which needed calculations. You can just add code interpreter, they will write Python code, they will solve the problem and give you an answer, and also give you a log of how they did it. That, if you wanted to do with just vanilla model, you have to do it in many iterations, iterate on each job yourself. And you have to be MySQL expert in for iterations, because the iterations requires you to know what is the right answer for
So
each
is
here.
it the biggest benefit then is you're saving fine tuning, you don't have to retrain the model. You can basically this agent is looking at different sources and aggregating better answers for you rather than you improving, you making a copy of your base model, fine tuning it, learn putting a RAG, all of it. An agent itself is doing all of it.
Correct. So what it does for you is three things. One you said, which is it basically helps you solve the problem. Rather than you worrying about the pieces and improving the pieces, it worries about what your problem is, which is to get a study plan and get this template filled with highest accuracy. So it takes that job, and whatever needed to do that job, calling an API, looking at your data store, your previous examples, and then you can also give it a standard, like an evaluation, and then it will eval. And if it is not meeting the bar, it will go again and try again. So those automation, those codes that you need to write to build an awesome app for your customer, it takes care of that. So that's number one. And how it does it because it can reason and act. It does two steps. Your vanilla model, all it does is it responds or to a question. Agents first reason. They say, oh, their prompts, internal prompts look like this, because we have seen behind the scenes of this, which is if you give it this and give it this code interpreter, behind the scenes they have written the prompt which says, hey, it's basically eventually prompts, right? First the prompt is,
Yeah.
given this goal, given this information, create a plan. Based on this plan, imagine you have these tools. Which tools will you use here? Hey, here is an evaluation, have you picked the right tools? And somebody has written those for you, and then they pick the right tools. Okay, let's go one by one, let's go step by step. If you fail, go do this 7 things. So they have done that hard part for you, and now they're just offering you a very clear interface to solve your problem, rather than you doing all that engineering work of how to integrate tools, how to do troubleshooting to finish jobs. Does that help?
Got it. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Yeah.
Awesome. Then I think we are on time. But thanks, Ganesh. Again, always great to see people. I learned a lot through. I will publish this, and then you will see how it doesn't work. And then you will first day start learning what it takes to actually become an AI PM. That's like fundamentals. But building things like this will help you learn the drawbacks of these things, because on surface, everything kind of seems working, but once you start deploying them, you will see the challenges. Oh, it doesn't take this much file. Oh, it fails. It doesn't give me even errors. Oh, it takes too much time. I gave it a simple like my profile and it is taking like 30 minutes. I can prepare for my interview. So please try these things, but use these calls to get ready and ask questions, so you have less and less barrier to try these things. That's our goal. With that, I think no closing notes today, no Shilan. Our course is there, of course, if you want to go do it. But other than that, I'm here. I will see you again next Saturday. And till then, next Saturday, I think we are doing how to getting into an AI PM. If you are not into AI PM, if you are into other fields, how can you get into that? And maybe I will have somebody to talk about responsible AI more deeply. With that note, thanks, team. Bye. A lot of questions. Great presentation. Thanks. Responsible AI recording is here. Thanks.